The barefooted style of Tony Franklin approaches the ball to the 35-yard line. It is a short kick. At the 10-yard line, it is Young coming to the near side. Tips over his own man and is smothered at the 17, maybe the 18. So the Browns' offensive unit, led by the veteran Gary Danielson. The running back is Ernest Viner, Kevin Mack. The wide receivers, Weathers, Brian Brennan, back off an injury. The tight end is the wily old Ozzie Newsome. The offensive line, Paul Fair and George Lilja. The center is Mike Babb, Dan Frank, Ricky Bolden is at the right side. Out of the I formation, the deep back is Viner. Danielson will put it up early. Player to the near side. It is Mack. He has the ball and is stopped at the 27-yard line by Andre Tippett.
I like the call, Phil. The Browns known to be rushing team coming on a first down, throwing the ball. Here you see the defensive line of the Patriots, a big, strong line. Ken Sims, Dennis Owens, and Toby Williams. The linebackers, Andre Tippett, Steve Nelson, Larry McGrew, Don Blackman, the core of the defense. And on the backfield, of course, Ronnie Lippett, Ray Claiborne, Roland James, and Fred Marion.
Second down and a yard for Cleveland at their own 28-yard line to give the second man through. He's got the first down across the 32-yard line. Ernest Viner smothered by Larry McGrew, fifth year out of Southern California. Raymond Berry, in his first full year as head coach of the New England Patriots, finding that so many first-year coaches find in this league, Bob, and that is, it is tough to win.
And sometimes you're not in control of your own destiny, Phil. That's what's the tough part about coaching.
First down, two tight ends. It is Newsome and Harry Holt. And Danielson wants to throw. It is complete to Ozzie Newsome, and he is thrown down at the 30-yard line. Progress at the 38. Roland James on the stop.
One of the defensive strategies of the Patriots, Phil, is the rush of the outside linebackers. And this time, you don't see Andre Tippett was rushing. He was picked up very well that time by Ozzie Newsome. That's why the pass was completed. And I like, Phil, what the Browns are doing so far. They've thrown the ball twice on first down.
87th consecutive game in which that man has caught a pass. And he goes in motion, now comes back to the near side. The give is the near side. That's Mack. Tries to sweep the end, and he'll get nothing.
Bill, the Wizard of Oz, of course, Ozzie Newsome, a great tight end, a terrific receiver for the Browns all these years. Sometimes the rap on Ozzie is not the greatest blocker in the world. You'll see him trying to block on 56 in red here, Andre Tippett. 82 is Newsome coming in motion. Tippett stands him up, beats the block, and forces him to play wide. Fine play by the all-pro Andre Tippett. Not exactly the way they like their tight ends to block.
Third down and 6 from the 36-yard line. Three wide receivers now for the Browns. Brennan Weathers and John Jefferson, who has yet to catch a pass in a Browns uniform. From the shotgun, Danielson looks left. Now goes for Brennan. He drops the ball at the 48-yard line and moves it to the 42 before Ronnie Lippett knocks him down.
Catch by Brian Brennan, the second-year man, just coming back from the injured reserve list. And I think the addition of Brian Brennan to this offensive team of the Browns, Phil, will help open things up a little bit. Coming open against the Patriots zone, coming across the middle, caught the seam, went up nicely for the ball, and came down with it.
First down, Cleveland at the Patriot 42-yard line. In motion is Brennan. Delay roll. Flag is down. Danielson's pass is complete. Ozzie Newsome is out of bounds at the 26-yard line, but first down, Cleveland. That's Newsome in motion. The give right up the gut. That is Kevin Mack to the 17-yard line. Close to another Cleveland first down.
A fine running play, Phil. What this is, a little tackle trap. It used to be when I was playing, more there was guards were the ones who were doing the pulling and the trapping. Nowadays, you're saying big, strong people like number 74, Paul Farron, who weighs 270 pounds, pulling and trapping there. A fine play for the tackle, enabling the ball carrier to get some good yardage. Ernest Viner, an effective runner this year, but a tackle trap, something you're seeing more and more of. It's amazing the size of these athletes nowadays are able to pull and trap.
short of the first down by about 4 inches. 11 minutes and 4 seconds to play in the first period. No score. The Browns, with the first possession of the ball game, have moved the ball down to the Patriots' 17-yard line. Bob, you mentioned at the outset of our telecast you particularly love the running game as an offensive lineman. Why?
Well, I think it's the essence of the offensive line. It enables us to be on the offense. We dictate to the defender what we're going to do. When you're pass protecting, you're sitting back reacting to what he's doing.
Out of the I formation on second down and less than 6 inches. Second man through. That's Biner. He has the first down at the Patriot 14-yard line. Don Blackman on the stop with help from Ken Sims.
Very impressed so far, Phil, with the play of the Cleveland offensive line. They're a big, strong group. 270, 270, 270, 280, 280 pounds, averaging over 273 or 4 pounds. That's a lot of beef up front.
Now the Browns have scored 71% of the time when they have penetrated their opponent's 20-yard line. Not a bad ratio. As Brian Brennan in motion. The Patriots jump to be a free down for the Browns. And again, it is Biner moving near the 10-yard line, and he is tackled by Larry McGrew.
I think we may have drawn old Jewel offsides there. Julie Adams, number 85, may have jumped a little bit early. Offside.
9-yard line. That's Biner. Oh, look at that hole on the left side. Cleveland, touchdown.
Quarter all year long.
Matt Barr approaches the football. The Patriots will get their first look at the pigskin, and oh, does Barr boom it. That is starring a yard deep, but he's coming out. And takes it out of bounds at the 28, maybe the 29-yard line.
Taking a look, Phil, at this touchdown, you're going to see some fine offensive line play by the left side. 74, Paul Farron, walling Julie Adams out until it's too late. Really a position block. Julia tried to take the outside there and got to it because the play was going up the inside. There you see 62.
Third via the rush. First and 10 Patriots. Eason. Big drop. Comes near side. He has got Tony Collins out of bounds near the 40-yard line. Now for the Patriots, as I said at the top of our telecast, a very spotty offense. And these are the guys responsible. Eason, Craig James, Tony Collins, the running backs. The wide receivers, Morgan and Fryer. The tight end is Lynn Dawson. But look for Derek Ramsey to play a bunch. The offensive line, Holloway, Hanna, Brock, Wooten, and Steve Moore. It has been an injury-riddled offensive line. Out of the eye, James and Collins. That's Collins on the sweep right. And he is knocked off his feet by Don Rogers. Oh, the exterminator up to make the stop.
Don Rogers, fine player, Phil. Last year, the American Football Conference Rookie of the Year and a real leader in that secondary. He'll hit you.
The Browns defense, it is Reggie Kemp, Golick, and Harrison. The linebacking core is Bob Kuchenberg mentioned. Perhaps the best in all of football. The backfield, Benefield, Gross, Rogers, and Hanford Dixon. Second down and 7 from the 42. That's Craig James on his feet, still on his feet at the 45. Steps inside and is finally stopped from behind. Scott Nicholas playing for an injured Tom Cousineau. Makes the touchdown-saving tackle at the 29-yard line.
An excellent call, Phil. The Patriots know that the Browns linebackers, outside linebackers, Banks and Matthews are coming upfield. This time, Clay Matthews, 57, was upfield and took himself out of the play because the ball carrier cut up inside. You see Matthews, support 57 in white, trailing there. An excellent call, and Craig James, of course, feels he's not being utilized enough, not getting the ball to him enough, and that run will go a long ways towards remedying that.
A little crossing pattern over the middle. It is complete to Stanley Morgan. He coughs up the football. Bob Kuchenberg against the Raiders. Reception. He now has a fumble recovery, and oh, it was a big one from the 9-yard line. Danielson and company out of the eye. He wants to put it up. Coming near side, that's Brian Brennan. One catch on the day. Side steps to sideline, and Brennan is out of bounds at the 26. Miami leading the Steelers at the Orange Bowl. No surprise there, I suppose.
A fine play by the young man. He stretched the ball out, knew exactly where the sticks were, saw that he was going to be tackled a few inches short of the first down, stretched the ball out about a yard farther than his body. Here you'll see it stretching it out just right there. The referee marks it precisely where the ball hit the ground. That difference enabled him to gain the first down. Heads-up play by the young man.
First down. That's Biner. Fumbles the football, and the Patriots recover. So the Browns, who entered the ball game -2 in the giveaway takeaway department, have popped it up again.
You see the charge by the offensive line. A nice hole here. Biner going through. Fine play, except for one thing, Phil. You've got to keep the ball with you. And stripped away, and you just don't want to leave the ball hanging outside, and especially on the inside in heavy traffic like that.
Andre Tippett scored a touchdown a week ago, and Ray Guy mishandled a punt, and now he recovers a fumble at the Patriots' own 29-yard line. 11 minutes, 39 seconds to play. Easton wants to put it up. He's got time, and he almost hits his tight end, Lynn Dawson. The pass tipped by Chip Banks. Dawson was running free.
Not very many linebackers in the league make that play, Phil. Chip Banks, being 6'4" and a former basketball player, fine athlete, this is a completion against most teams.
Dawson, 3 catches coming into the ball game. He has 1 thus far on the afternoon and barely missed his second. There's Andre Tippett on your right, number 55.
Coach Marty Schottenheimer feels that Chip Banks is the most talented defender on that team.
Tony 4 of 6. There's the draw. It's to James. He is still running and down at the 38-yard line. Clock continues to roll. Miami continuing to lead the Steelers 7-0 now in the second quarter at the Orange Bowl. San Francisco, a Roger Craig touchdown reception from Montana. Chicago and Tampa Bay scoreless in the second period.
Watch what happens to Irving Fryer on this last play.
Little face masking.
Well, I don't blame him. He tried to put the old elbow in the face there. A couple of banty roosters pecking at each other on the sidelines there.
They're down and 2. Take a look at this play. Tony Collins starts right, now goes back left. Easton misses a block on Al Gross, and it is Gross who forces him out at the 35-yard line.
Al Gross made the tackle, Phil, but credit Clay Matthews was a heads-up, all-pro type of play that time. He smelled that one out. He was all over it. Didn't allow the ball carrier the play to develop, and the ball carrier had to reverse his field, chasing the ball carrier right back into his defensive cohorts. Fine play by Clay Matthews.
10 minutes, 44 seconds to play in the first half, but it is Camarillo on for his second punt of the day.
Phil, there was 2 consecutive plays, all pro type plays. First by Chip Banks getting up, making a deflection. Secondly by Clay Matthews.
Clarence Weathers, who has 1 fumble today, has the ball. He does not call for the fair catch, or did he? Hold on a minute. Now one official over there says he did. Cedric Jones on the hit. A 45-yard punt. I think they're going to pick that flag up.
You might be right, Phil. I didn't see the fair catch signal, and it was a very close.
There's no foul on the play. There's no foul. It's first down that way. Timeout.
Now you can credit Jerry Markbright's officiating crew for wisely picking up the flag. Clock stopped with 10:35 to play. We're deadlocked. The Browns with the football following the punt at their own 21-yard line. Brennan and Clarence Weathers, the wide receivers, and Danielson's looking. Now the little screen. That's Biner. He has got some room at the 32 and down. Steve Nelson, he's the man who leads that linebacking core from his inside spot on the left side. Mike Babb, outstanding clearing block. Well, Bob, Tuesday night at 8 o'clock right here on NBC, the American League Championship Series begins. Don't forget the best of 7 this year. It all begins at Exhibition Stadium in Toronto. The Blue Jays and the Kansas City Royals.
That should be a dandy, Phil.
Oh, the way George Brett's hitting the baseball. Of course, that outstanding pitching staff up in Toronto, it will be an outstanding series. Second man, Biner. Nothing but red jersey. Oh, what a shot. Rod McSwain laid on Biner.
You're right. We could hear that one up here, couldn't we? That's about the time that I'm very happy to be up here and not down there on the field. So, excellent job by Blackman here, stringing the play out. Roland James, number 38 there in red. And here you're going to see McSwain coming up, putting the kibosh on the young ball carrier, and like two bighorn mountain rams colliding. We heard that one up here in the booth.
Helmet to helmet. And you called that fun for 15 years? Second down and 9.
My wife forced me to do it that long, Phil. I didn't want to.
Oh, okay. Short drop by Danielson. There's a little in pattern. Brennan is hit right in the kidneys.
He sure was hitting the kidneys, and I'm quite sure that he's going to have a little bit to say to quarterback Gary Danielson. Something along the lines of, hey, Gary, old buddy, you know, I just came back off the injured reserve list, and I'm not real eager to go back. How about putting the ball in front of me instead of behind me?
Now, you're right. Brennan was on the IR because of a dislocated shoulder. Indianapolis now out in front of Buffalo 14-7. George Wansley, a 7-yard run early on in the second period. Here in Cleveland, it's 7-7, the Browns and the Patriots. Third down and 9. Look in pattern. That is Clarence Weathers. The former Patriot has a first down at the 44-yard line. And Clarence not getting up.
Phil, I think he was lassoed, more or less bulldogged, I should say, by Fred Marion. He probably has a neck ache of some sort.
Now, while the Cleveland staff looks over Clarence Weathers, the clock stops with 9:24 to play in the first half. Clarence Weathers is okay. He came off the field on his own accord. Danielson, a little roll right. He has got back, and plenty of running room to the New England 33-yard line. Fred Marion, the man who took Weathers out with help from Ronnie Lippett, this time takes Kevin Mack to the ground.
Gotta like the game plan of the Cleveland Browns. You'll see Ozzie Newsome out here in the open trying to throw a little block for Ernest Biner here. Doesn't really get his head in front of Fred Marion, and that's why he can't throw the block. But just being down there hustling by the all-pro veteran Ozzie Newsome.
First and 10 for the Browns at the New England 33. 8:24 to play first half. That's Newsome in motion. Backwards pass. Brennan this time's going to Newsome. Look at this play.
Just like they draw it up, Phil. The Wizard of Oz getting into the end zone once again. A little razzle-dazzle from the ultra-conservative Cleveland Browns. What's going on here, Phil?
Now, who says the Browns have instituted a Woody Hayes style of offense?
You're looking at one of the truly great tight ends in the history of the game.
Flags are down as Barr sends it whistling through the uprights. Hold on a moment. Of course, Brian Brennan was Doug Flutie's favorite receiver at Boston College. And with all the razzle-dazzle we saw from Doug Flutie and company over the last couple of years, it should come as no surprise that Brian Brennan can flat out whistle a football.
Well, as Don Shula would say, the more things you can do, the better.
There's an encroachment foul. Prior to the snap, the whistle killed the play. Number 55 defense. The penalty will be enforced on the kickoff. We'll replay the try.
Ozzie Newsome His second touchdown of 1985. You realize, Bob Kuchenberg, that since 1979, the Wizard of Oz has caught more passes than anyone else in the NFL. Now, that's saying something.
That is a mouthful.
More than Largent, more than Winslow, and more than Charlie Joyner. Now, for Matt Barr, it's almost automatic. And again, a flag is down. Mark Bright is listening. I think this is going to go against the Patriots.
The try is good. We have offside, number 42, on a successful try. We'll also penalize that foul on the kickoff. There'll be 10 yards on the kickoff. Timeout.
So the Browns, instead of kicking from their own 35, will let it fly from their own 45 with 8:15 to play in the first half. Browns leading the Patriots 14-7. Take a look at this kick. It's as short as you'll ever see. It is cut by Cedric Jones. And there's not much return at all. Nothing but orange and black. Johnny Davis leading the charge.
Taking a look at this razzle-dazzle touchdown, Phil, this is a very difficult play to execute. First of all, you've got to have a receiver doing something he doesn't do very well, throwing the ball. You'll see the secondary of the Patriots was fooled there. Fred Marion making a late recovery, but this is a play that if it works big, of course, but it's very difficult to pull off, and there's only a few times in a season when you have the proper conditions to try that. Wonderfully exciting play, though, by the Cleveland Browns.
Collins and James are the running backs out of the I formation. The Patriots down by a touchdown. Play action, Eason. He is airing it out for Fryer. And outstanding double coverage by Frank Minifield, and Don Rogers negates the long completion.
That one fooled no one, Phil. Frank Minifield was with Irving Fryer, stride for stride. The ball thrown in. Well, you'll see a little pushing there going on. Phil, I don't know, a little unnecessary contact there. That perhaps could have been called. But one of the things that happened there is the Patriots are now throwing against a fairly brisk breeze here, and that ball tended to hang up a little bit, enabled Frank Minifield to be right with Irving Fryer at that time.
Second down and 10. Eason with time. And a lot of time. Look at this. Stanley Morgan is wide open and shoved out of bounds by Don Rogers at the 48-yard line.
Phil, this is exactly what's been missing in the New England offense so far in 1985. He's been throwing to Derek Ramsey and Tony Collins, but on successive plays now to deep to Irving Fryer, and this time to Stanley Morgan, wide open on the sidelines. This is the kind of down-the-field artillery that the Patriot fans have been clamoring for all year long.
And rightfully so. For Morgan, his second catch of the day. He only had 3 all year coming into this game. That's Collins. Not much at all. We pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
This is WBZ, TV4 Boston.
7 minutes and 29 seconds to play on the first half. Bill Stone with Bob Kuchenberg, and we have had a dandy thus far. Cleveland on top of the Patriots 14-7. The I back is Collins. James is the up back. Eason on second and 10. That's Collins on the little flare. Tries to outrun Eddie Johnson and is tripped up by his shoestrings.
Fine play by Eddie Johnson. He's the leader in that linebacking core. He's making all the signal calls, calling the changes. What happened, what was the great play about that play is Eddie Johnson had a lot of real estate to make up because Clay Matthews was blitzing and Tony Collins was floating out to the side there, and Eddie Johnson had to run about 20 or 25 yards to make that shoestring tackle.
If you are looking for number 50 in white, Tom Cousineau, chances are you will not see him in action today, and his place is Scott Nicholas. Cousineau with hemorrhoidal surgery earlier in the week. Eason on the out pattern to Fryer. Oh, what a catch by the Nebraska star.
Wonderful catch. Irving Fryer, a very potent weapon. And as we said earlier, they need to get the ball to this man here. You're going to see Fryer driving the Browns downfield, faking to the inside, cutting to the outside, and the ball is there, perfectly thrown. The coverage really couldn't have been better. Felix Wright all over him and Al Gross, but when you have that kind of a throw and timing, you just can't stop it.
Yeah, you said at the outset of our telecast, Bob Kuchenberg, that Eason has got to get the ball to number 80 and 86. He has done it thus far here in the first half. 5:52 to play. Patriots down by a touchdown. Out of the pro set, Eason. Looking long again. Going for Stanley, and it is underthrown. Intercepted by the nickelback Larry Brazil. Badly underthrown for Eason, his 9th interception of the year.
Phil, that ball should not have been thrown, and that reminds me of something that the Raiders said last week. Said Tony Eason's very predictable. You see him throwing to his left here. The receiver was Stanley Morgan was covered very closely there. What Tony was doing was trying to look the defenders off. He was looking to his right, Then at the last minute, he's turned to his left and threw the ball to his left. Well, there was nothing to throw to. The Raiders last week said that whichever way that Eason looks, that's the way he's going to throw.
Eason today, 7 for 11, 122 yards, and now that interception. All of last year, Bob, Eason threw for a total of 8 interceptions. So far, in 4+ games in 1985, he has delivered 9 to the opposition. From the 3-yard line, Kevin Mack dives out across the 7 near the 8.
Again, Bill, the Cleveland offensive line controlling the line of scrimmage. You're right. All of last year, Tony threw only 8 interceptions, had a fine year, and so far this year, with only a quarter of the year gone, he's thrown 9. But he can't. That's the one thing he can't do is get conservative. He's got to continue to be aggressive, and he cannot let this interception slow him down and take his confidence away.
Kevin Mack, 9 carries for 61 yards. The give is to Biner, and he has taken it right in behind Mike Babb. It's the play, Bob, that you spoke of in the first quarter, where that running back has the option of taking it off the left or the right of the center.
That's right. They're relying on Mike Babb and George Lilja and Dan Fike to get movement on the nose tackle and the 2 inside linebackers, and that creates running room for the backs. That time, however, Steve Nelson, old Nelly, the veteran there, anticipated the play, and even just prior to the snap started charging toward the center and beat the right guard, Dan Fike, and made the play.
What's the call here, Bob, on 3rd and 1? If you're down there on the offensive line, what are you looking for your quarterback to call?
3rd and 1, you've got to, good tough yardage here, you've got to get the ball to your up back and tuck in behind your big offensive line.
In this case, it would be Kevin Mack. Little quarterback roll. Look at this. It is Mack on a little dump pass. And he is knocked out of bounds at the 36-yard line.
I can't believe this, Phil. There's easily boring Cleveland Browns, the 3 yards in the cloud of dust Cleveland Browns. I guess that's why I'm an offensive lineman. That was not a line buck, was it?
Well, Mack slid right through the line, and Danielson found him. Nobody home.
Interesting call in the shadows of the goalpost.
Roland James on the tackle. A first down now way out at the 36-yard line with 4:15 to play in the first half. Don't forget, stay tuned. Bob Costas, Pete Axtell, Mohammad Rashad with all the scores and highlights on NFL 85 upcoming in just 4 minutes and 15 seconds. Danielson looking long. Cannot get around Larry McGrew. McGrew really pressed into service because of the misfortune that has befallen Clayton Weissoon.
That's right, Phil, and I'm personally very sorry to see that happen to Clayton Weissoon, one of the really fine young linebacker prospects in the league. In 2 consecutive years now, he's had tragic injuries, and your heart's got to go out to a man like Clayton Weissoon. Larry McGrew doing a fine job filling in for him there. The fans were booing Larry because they thought he was a little extra rough on that tackle at the quarterback there.
2nd down and 6 from the 40. The clock continues to turn. We're at 3:29 remaining first half action. 14-7 Browns. Danielson once more looking for the screen to develop and just threw the football away. What was interesting is Kevin Mack was being hemmed in. He could not slide out to catch that football.
That's right, Phil. A lot of times a savvy linebacker will diagnose a screen play and realize that the halfback or the fullback is going to be the receiver and actually hold on to him. It's quite legal and very effective. The quarterback there, though, Danielson, being the savvy veteran himself, realized that and just threw the ball in the general vicinity of a receiver, and therefore avoiding the sack and the intentional grinding call.
Kevin Mack has come out of the ball game. The lone running back is Ernest Biner. Weathers, John Jefferson, and Brian Brennan, the three wideouts.
Patriots are up close.
3rd down and 6. Near side. It is intercepted. Raymond Claiborne, his 2nd interception of the year. And he could go. He is out of bounds at the 18-yard line. Danielson, his 1st interception today, his 5th of the year.
Phil, that, of course, would remind the Cleveland Brown fans here of a year ago when Raymond Claiborne made the big play to turn the game around and win the game. I think what happened here is Danielson was fooled. The Patriots had 8 men on the line of scrimmage, and at the very last snap, they backed off the ball. Danielson did not get the defense that he anticipated and threw the ball, trying to hit Clarence Weathers, but instead hit Raymond Claiborne. It's the old bait and switch. The Patriot defenders were all up on the line showing blitz, but at the snap, they backed out of there and gave Danielson something that he did not anticipate.
Danielson, 11 for 18, 164 yards, and an interception. Collins. Oh, what a block. Collins dives to the 16-yard line.
You're right, Phil. A splendid block by Irving Fryer, cracking back on the linebacker. That's something Coach Berry told us last night. With all the talent that Stanley Morgan and Irving Fryer possess, you might expect them to be rather timid when it comes to blocking, but not the case. Both of these really wonderful wide receivers are also good blockers. I don't know if we can see it here, cracking back. We saw just the tail end of it there, but that enabled the ball carrier to get into plus yardage.
2nd down and 9. That's Collins. Tries to turn it inside. Browns pursuing well, and it is Don Rogers on the tackle, out of bounds at the 12-yard line. Clock continues to turn. Now it is stopped with 2:33 to play.
Following up, Phil, on Stanley Morgan and Irving Fryer's blocking ambition and ability, sitting in the booth right next to us right now is one of the all-time great receivers, Hall of Famer Paul Warfield. He was a vicious blocker. You don't see it that often, but Morgan and Fryer will go after him.
How about that score from the Superdome? The Saints over the Eagles, 20-0 in the 2nd quarter. Here in Cleveland, it is 14-7 Browns, 2:33 to play. 3rd down and 4 out of the shotgun. Eason unloads. It is almost picked off again by Brazil. Intended for Cedric Jones. Oh, Eason is a lucky man.
He got away with that one. Chris Watkins had a safety blitz on, and he was in the quarterback's face. He came through unscathed, came right through the offensive line there. Tony had no time. A little high snap there. By the time he gets the ball possessed, he's got to start dodging Browns. Probably shouldn't have put this ball up. Very fortunate here.
Tony Franklin has come on. Eason will hold on 4th down and 4 from the 12-yard line.
Bill credit number 83, Cedric Jones, with a fine play preventing that interception.
Spotted at the 19, officially a 29-yard attempt. Franklin lets it fly, and it is good. Tony this year, 5 for 5. Go back to last year, he is 8 for his last 8 attempts. The man in the brown jacket is the Browns team physician, Dr. John Bergfeld, looking at Gary Danielson's throwing arm. And Bob, I think Danielson's hurt as Tony Franklin lets it sail. It's Young. Across the 30. What a return by Glenn Young, and it gives the Browns excellent field position at the Patriots 49-yard line, and Bernie Kosar. Listen to this crowd for Kosar.
They love it, Bill. Bernie Kosar, of course, down from my way. Went through the University of Miami Finance School in 2.5 years. He's one smart cookie.
This is his first action as a Cleveland Brown, with the exception of preseason. Ball spotted at the midfield stripe. Kosar loses the football, and it's covered by New England. Steve Nelson with the recovery. And now we have got some fisticuffs.
Phil, so often you see that. When you have a new quarterback in there, the center quarterback exchange is taken for granted so many times. And when you have a new quarterback in there, the timing is a little bit different. I don't know if Bernie had taken any snaps on the sidelines with Mike Babb, but if he hadn't, that's precisely the reason. Bernie pulling out there perhaps a little bit early, not used to the center snap. That you see that many, many times when you have a new quarterback or a new center.
We have personal fouls on both sides after the ball was blown dead. 55 and 74. The penalty's offset, and it's first down that way.
Paul Farron and Don Blackman are the guilty parties, but they are offsetting. No damage done. Bernie Kosar, a rather inauspicious beginning.
Certainly inauspicious is the proper word. Again, when you have a new quarterback coming in there, you want to take some practice snaps with your center.
First down, Patriots. 2:09 to play. Play action. That is the big tight end, Derek Ramsey. 8th year out of Kentucky. He is very near a first down, and I believe he has it. Clock stops. 2 minutes to play. Patriots trying to grab a lead. Two minutes to play in the first half. And then we will take you to NFL 85. Bob Costas on the update desk. Highlights, scores of all the games around the NFL. Eason lets it fly. Almost a one-hand grab by Tony Collins near the 27-yard line. Now there's Gary Danielson's right shoulder, and I think we have seen the end of Gary Danielson today. Bernie Kosar right behind the Cleveland bench, continuing to throw. Gary Danielson took a couple of snaps a few moments ago while we were away and just shook his head. I don't think I can make it, Coach.
No, that does not look good for Gary Danielson and the Browns.
2nd and 10, Eason with time. Now throws. Collins has it. Still on his feet, inside the 20 and down at the 17. What a move Collins put on Chris Rockins to break free.
He sure did, Phil. This is a tight man-to-man defense by the Browns secondary, and Chris Rockins was man-to-man on Tony Collins there and couldn't handle it. He broke free and not only broke away from Chris Rockins, but broke a couple of tackles after he caught the ball. You see Collins coming open right across the middle here. Breaks one tackle, trying to get in the end zone. Little dipsy-do there. Fine play by Tony Collins.
You know, you talk about the problems that this Patriot offensive unit has had here in 1985, Bob, an offensive unit that, quite frankly, just really ran up the points in the preseason. You talked about it during the first period, the fact that it is an offensive line that has been decimated by injuries. It is also a core of wide receivers that, quite frankly, has not learned how to break off patterns and make what they call sight adjustments. What are we talking about here?
Well, we have a new offensive system in. A year ago, they were under Ron Meyer, and Coach Berry has had to bring in a new offensive coordinator and indoctrinate a new offensive system. And they were not really equipped last year to handle the blitzes. The offensive line wasn't sophisticated to handle certain blitzes, and the wide receivers were not schooled in how to recognize blitzes and break off the patterns and get ready for a fire drill.
First down and 10 from the 17, a minute 44 to play. It is 14-10 Browns. That's Pryor in motion, and here he comes this way. Play action, Eason looking for Morgan. Now dumps it off to Collins, and he cannot hold the football.
Big Reggie Camp came through here. Phil had 3 sacks last week, and he's really gaining momentum. Reggie had been bothered by a foot injury earlier in the season and was their leading rusher last year with 14 sacks, and because of the injury had not been really that effective until last week when he sacked the Chargers quarterback 3 times. Here you see Steve Grogan calling the Patriot plays in the sideline, much like a third base coach would. He's got a third base coach's hat on, doesn't he?
He doesn't actually call the plays. Signals them in.
You're right. That's right. I stand corrected.
Second down and 10. Short drop by Eason, looking for Collins, but will be content to go to Tony Collins. And Collins is chased out of bounds by Clay Matthews.
You know, it's interesting, Phil. Tony Collins a couple of years ago was such a fine runner, made the Pro Bowl, 1,000 yards plus, and he really has not been that effective as a rusher the last couple of years, averaging only 3.3 yards per rush this year. And I'm a little bit puzzled as to why Tony hasn't continued to develop as a runner. When I said Steve Grogan was sending in the plays there, Phil, you're absolutely right. He was not calling the plays. He was sending them in or relaying them. In Miami, sometimes you'll see Don Strock calling the plays.
Eason will trot to the far sideline with 1:32 to play. The Patriots would love to take a halftime lead. Time remaining 1:32 here in the first half. The Patriots 3rd down and 4 at the Cleveland 12-yard line. And it has been a case thus far, Bob Kuchenberg, of really a sputtering Patriot offense, but outstanding play from the defense and special teams.
Well, once again, the special teams got points on the board. You always love to see that. Coach Berry not real consistently happy here, but I think he's got to be encouraged by the play of Tony Eason, with the exception of one interception. Tony's playing aggressive football today, something that he needs to do.
Derwin Williams in motion. Flags are down everywhere, and so is Tony Eason. Oh, was he stuck by Chip Banks.
Had a little confusion down there, Phil, with the timing. Little confusion on the snap count there. There was some premature movement. It was almost a fumble. There was almost an exchange.
The play does not count. It's still 3rd down.
As I say, there was some confusion down there. I really don't know if there was a timeout or ball was in play, but I know that there was an exchange problem between the center, Pete Brock, and Tony Eason.
3rd down and 9 now from the 16. Eason up and over. Pass intended for Cedric Jones. He could not get back to make the catch. Great coverage by Frank Minifield. And here comes Tony Franklin again.
Credit Frank Minifield with a fine play there. Minnie was all over Irving Fryer. The Browns had the goal line blitz on. They were putting heat on the quarterback. Tony did the only thing that the coverage dictated, and that was throw the old alley-oop pass to Irving Fryer, hoping that Irving could out-jump little Frank Minifield. But credit Minnie with a fine play there.
Eason will hold. Franklin thus far on the day is 1 for 1. From 33 yards away, Franklin has not missed this year. Go back to last year, he has made 8 in a row. Will it be 9? It is. So the clock stops with 1:23 to play on the first half. Tony Franklin has just tied his own career record for 9 in a row. He had that in the early part of 1984.
Bill, we've got a ball game on our hands here.
Well, it is really, for the most part, Bob, been the opportunistic defense of the New England Patriots.
Yes, that's right. The Patriots are taking advantage of something here that's been their nemesis thus far this year. They've been -8 or 9 in the giveaway category this year. That's been hurting them. And they're capitalizing on that same problem in the Cleveland Browns offense today.
Well, 1:23 to play in the first half, and we will take you to NFL 85. Bob, Pete, Ahmad will update you scores and highlights around the league on this, the 5th weekend of NFL action. And don't forget, Tuesday night from Exhibition Stadium in Toronto, it's the Jays and the Kansas City Royals, Game 1 for the American League flag. Here in 1985, it is the best of 7 instead of the traditional best of 5 league championship series. NBC will bring you not only the American League Championship, which begins Tuesday, but also the National League Championship Series that gets underway Wednesday at Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles. Valenzuela and John Tudor of the St. Louis Cardinals. That is Glenn Young. At the 4-yard line, Franklin will let it sail. Short kick. That's Young at the 15-yard line. He moves it across the 27 out near the 28. And that is where the Browns offensive unit will put it in play. And here comes Bernie Kosar again.
The fans welcome him.
If you just joined us a moment ago, Kosar's first snap He fumbled the ball, recovered by the Patriots. If this were a Hollywood script, Bob, he would have taken that snap and launched a 50-yard touchdown pass to Clarence Weathers.
Well, I know if I were writing the movie, he certainly would have. Not hardly the way Bernie sat and dreamed about his debut here in Cleveland, I'm sure. But this kid has such a...
charge timeout, New England.
Are you telling me, wait a minute, Coach, are you telling me that those years down in Miami were not scripted? The undefeated season was not a script.
Particularly that wonderful game against Nebraska. I'll tell you, that was one of the fine collegiate games I've ever seen. And this Kosar is one of these players they refer to as a franchise player. And the people here in Cleveland, from Mr. Modell on down, are so very excited and enthused about the future of Bernie Kosar. They didn't, I'm sure, want him to come into the game under these conditions, however.
Coming up next on NBC, the second half of our doubleheader. Most of you will see the front-running Chiefs take on the Raiders at the Coliseum. There's the other regional game some of you will be seeing. Check your local listing now for the game in your area. But most immediate, a minute 20 seconds away from NFL 85 with Bob Costas, Ahmad Rashad, and Pete Axtell. First and 10 Browns. They lead the Patriots by 1. Kevin Mack is hit at the line of scrimmage and driven back. That is Steve Nelson and Larry McGrew.
Looks as though Coach Schottenheimer may be content to go into the locker room, Phil, with a 1-point advantage rather than having his young quarterback get risque here and put the ball up for grabs.
Now the Browns' wide receiving core is a good one. Of course, at the start of the year, they had Willis Adams, Fred Banks, and Reggie Langhorne. But today it is Weathers, John Jefferson, and Brian Brennan. There's the give. Mack is hit in the backfield and dropped there again by Steve Nelson.
Got to be a lot on his mind right now, Phil. He's come into a ball game where he didn't really expect to play this early. He's young. It's his first opening ball game and deep in his own territory here. I think what he's going to do, of course, just keep the ball on the ground and call timeout at halftime and go listen to his coach and talk things over and then come out anew in the third quarter.
This will be the final play of the first half. Would you go for broke here, Bob, or just run it out?
I think I'd put it up for grabs. He's got the wind behind him. Throw it downfield.
Nope. It's going to be Kevin Mack. And that's the way the first half will come to an end. The Cleveland Browns with a touchdown in the first period. Another strike in the second period. Their 14 points. For the Patriots, Bob, all 13 of theirs came in the second stanza.
Yes, an encouraging second quarter for the Patriots. They've made a couple of costly errors, but they've also capitalized on a couple of Browns' mistakes. I like the aggressive style that Tony Eason has exhibited so far in the first half, and I'm excited. It's going to be a whale of a ball game here in the second half.
The Browns came into this ball game deadlocked with the Pittsburgh Steelers in the AFC Central Division. But, Bob, you look at their two losses to the Cardinals and the Cowboys. Both times they gave up 20 points or more. And their two victories over the Chargers and the Steelers, they gave up but one touchdown in each one of those outings.
Well, there's no secret, Phil. You win with defense in this league, and no team better exhibits that fact than the Cleveland Browns. They've been winning with a good ball control offense and a good strong defense, but they're throwing the ball a bit more today, and I'm excited. We've got a ball game on our hands.
Now the Browns leading the Patriots 14-13. You're right, Bob. We have a ball game. NFL 85 halftime activities will continue in just a moment. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station. He said at the outset of our telecast, Bob, Eason would have to get the ball to Morgan and Fryer, and he has done it thus far today.
Yes, he sure has. Fryer's only caught one pass for 21 yards, Morgan 3 for 67 yards, but the point is he's doing it. He's throwing the ball downfield, and that's causing the Browns defense to respect that.
All right, let's go now to NFL 85 and Bob Costas. Bob?
Okay, Bob Costas back along with Pete Axtell and Ahmad Rashad. Let's get you updated on the scores from around the league in the game some of you are watching. Pittsburgh with the halftime lead at the Orange Bowl, 17-14. The Steelers have never won in Miami. They are 0-4 there over the years. A trendy banner along the sideline, the Miami Vice squad. Well, early on, it's Tony Nathan up and over the top for a 7-0 Miami lead. That's in the first quarter. In the second quarter, Nathan's fortunes take a turn for the worse as he is hit, fumbles, and Donnie Shell, ever the opportunistic one, recovers. That leads to a Walter Abercrombie touchdown later on that drive. Abercrombie from the 1-yard line to tie it up at 7 apiece. After a Gary Anderson field goal gave Pittsburgh the lead at 10-7, it's Dan Johnson, not Don Johnson of Miami Vice, but Dan Johnson, who catches this Marino touchdown of 2 yards. But the Steelers reclaim the lead. Look at this great catch by the 6'6" Ouija Thompson, and he uses every bit of that height and reach to pull in the 1-yard toss from Malone just before halftime, 17-14 in favor of the Steelers. In the game some of you are watching, New England at Cleveland, and the Browns with a 14-13 lead at the half. Coach Marty Schottenheimer's team has the best rushing average in the National Football League through 4 weeks. Ernest Biner is part of the reason. A 9-yard touchdown bolt in the first quarter, and it's 7-0 in favor of the Browns. However, New England, on this punt, ties the ball game. Rich Camarillo's kick can't be handled by the former Patriot Clarence Weathers. He bobbles it once, regains the handle, and then when he's hit, he coughs it up again, and Johnny Rembert eventually falls on it in the end zone. Game tied at 7 in the second quarter. Razzle-dazzle for the Browns to take the lead at 14-7. That's a lateral, not a pass, from Danielson to Brian Brennan. Brennan then passes to Ozzie Newsome. The play covers 33 yards. They go ahead 14-7. A bit later on, however, Gary Danielson injured a shoulder, went out of the game, and was replaced by Bernie Kosar. In Kosar's first play from scrimmage in a regular National Football League game, he fumbled the snap. The Patriots recovered. That led to a Tony Franklin field goal and a 14-13 lead for the Browns at the half. Elsewhere, San Francisco and Atlanta, the 49ers having a tough time with the Falcons, who are 0-4. 7-3 is the score as they come up to halftime. Roger Craig caught a 46-yard touchdown pass from Joe Montana. Craig leads the NFL with 8 touchdowns scored. Tampa Bay has the lead at home over Chicago. 12-0 is the score in that game. Their only touchdown is Steve DeBerg, 21-yard pass to Kevin House. Donald Ikwabuki has a couple of field goals, also missed a point after for Tampa Bay. The Buccaneers lost in their opener to the Bears at Soldier Field, trying to get some revenge today. The Bears, of course, come in at 4-0. The Packers are in front at halftime, playing at home over the Lions. The score there is 20-3. Indianapolis at home to Buffalo, and at the Hoosier Dome, the Colts lead at 21-10. They haven't yet reached halftime. This is Hank Buller's first game as the head coach of the Bills, but so far the results haven't been much different than they were under Kay Stevenson. They grabbed the lead 7-0 when Greg Bell took this pitch and the second-year man from Notre Dame went in from 18 yards out. However, the Colts tied it late in the first quarter. Mike Pagel on the rollout from 2 yards. The kick made it 7-7. Vince Ferragamo of the Bills has been intercepted more often than any quarterback in the NFL. Twice in the first half to bring his season's total to 11. He's thrown for only 2 touchdowns. This one is off the hands of receiver Eason Ramson and a fine diving interception by the linebacker Barry Krause. It leads to a touchdown for the Colts, scored by George Wansley, one of 2 he would score in the first half. Look at him break tackles here, a superior run. He lunges over the plane of the goal line. 21-10 is the score at halftime, as Wansley later scored a 3-yard touchdown. It is not yet at halftime. I should check that. A few minutes remaining in the second quarter. And the Saints, the team Pete Axthelm again picks against, leading at home over the Eagles by a score of 20-7, and they have taken Randall Cunningham out at quarterback. The Eagles have replaced him with Ron Jaworski, and Jaworski has thrown a touchdown pass to John Spagnola for the only score for the Eagles. So what about those Saints? When are you going to get on their bandwagon?
Well, I never learned, Bob. We all know that. Everyone who follows me knows that. But I do have an announcement. There's no truth to the rumors that the Eagles, the way they're performing today, have applied to join the Major Indoor Soccer League.
Another snide remark that is best left alone. We'll send it back to the ballparks now, and we'll check with you a bit later on in the day. For Ahmad Rashad, who was brilliant in this segment, and Pete Axthelm, I'm Bob Costa. See you later.
NFL 85 will continue right after these messages from your local station. Welcome back to Cleveland Stadium, everybody, with the Browns leading the New England Patriots 14-13, and it has been a game, quite frankly, that has been dominated by turnovers. For the Patriots, they have been on the receiving end of 4 Browns turnovers, while the Browns have been on the receiving end of 2 Patriot miscues.
It has. Both these teams have been hurt this year, Phil, by not only turnovers but penalties, and it's holding true today.
You know, the Browns led this ball game 7-0 in this first quarter. But in the second period, the Patriots got on the board on a punt problem. A week ago, the Raiders had the same problem. Today, it was the Browns who coughed it up.
Yes, Clarence Weathers, up until 2 weeks ago, was a Patriot, Phil, and perhaps he's figuring he's still playing for the Patriots here today. This play really got the Patriots back in the ball game. Johnny Rembert covered it. A week ago, it was Andre Tippett with the touchdown. That made it 7-7. And then in the second quarter, the Browns went up 14-7. Take a look at this play. Is this nifty or what? What a sweet play this is. You don't see this very often because so many elements have to be perfect. But Brian Brennan there, first of all, catch the ball, then get it off quickly. And the old Wizard of Oz, Ozzie Newsome, once again getting into the end zone. Well, that made it 14-7 Browns. The Patriots were to add 2 more field goals in the second period of play. Both of those field goals followed Browns' turnovers, an interception and a fumble. That's right. Both teams being very capitalistic today, taking advantage of the turnovers and cashing in, getting points on the board. Bob, we said at the outset of the telecast that for the Patriots to be effective, Eason would have to get the ball downfield. He has completed 3 passes to Stanley Morgan, only 1 to Irving Pryor, but it is not for the lack of trying. That's right. 3 receptions to your wide receivers isn't all that impressive statistically, but he's attempting. He's going downtown. He's trying to create some vertical movement or some room here, and by doing so, even just by attempting, even if he's not successful, he's causing the Cleveland Brown defense to respect that, and therefore he's going to give his halfbacks and his tight end receivers some running room. Of course, the turnovers are not telling the whole story. The statistics, take a look at the edge and possession. It is. It's very one-sided. The Cleveland Browns have had the ball nearly twice as much as the Patriots here in the first half. 19.5 minutes to 10.5 minutes. The Patriots are going to have to keep the ball a little bit more in the second half and keep their defense off the field if they expect to hang in there in the second half. This, by the way, has been a downfall of the Patriots so far this season. They've been a horrid second-half ball club, particularly in the fourth quarter. Their defense has allowed 35 points this year in the fourth quarter. You know, Bob, we talked in the second period when Bernie Kosar came on. As you look at the rookie out of Miami, his first snap as a member of the Cleveland Browns was a fumble recovered by the New England Patriots. He has yet to throw a pass in the regular season. You kind of wonder if perhaps this will be a Hollywood second half for the rookie Bernie Kosar. Of course, he only played 2 years of college ball, and quite frankly, you wonder if 2 years of major college football is enough to get you ready for the NFL experience. It's not enough, Phil, and I don't care how smart or how physically talented the man is, and he is both, indeed. 2 years of major college football is not enough. Bernie Kosar will be a much better football player 2 or 3 years from now than he is right now, but he really doesn't have the choice. He's got to go get the job done. Matt Barr lets it sail. That is Starring at the goal line, and here comes Stephen Starring. Across the 27, out near the 28, and boy, he is wrestled out of bounds there. Matt Barr is the one who ultimately wrestled him out on the sideline. Take another look at this. You're going to see some excellent blocking here by the Patriots, wanting to come out of the end zone, get some momentum created. There you see a block on. Oh, wow. Good morning. Good afternoon. How you doing there? 55 of the Browns never saw the block. That's the kind of hitting you like to open the second half with. First down from the 30-yard line, the Patriots. They trail by 1. Just underway here in the second half of play. Eason with time. Pass is complete to his tight end, Lynn Dawson. That is Dawson's 3rd catch of the day. That equals his season total. Phil, we talked about just a few minutes ago the effectiveness of going to Morgan and Pryor down deep, downtown, vertically. It's going to open up for people like Lynn Dawson and Tony Collins underneath the zones. You want to back those defenders off going deep, and that'll soften the underbelly of those zones and make Lynn Dawson and Tony Collins and Derek Ramsey all that much more effective. We talked at the top of our telecast, Bob Kuchenberg, about the effectiveness of this Cleveland Brown linebacking core. They have pressured Tony Eason 4 times in the first half. That is a very undervalued statistic. You're beginning to see the statistic pressure, quarterback pressure coming along. And in many times, I think a pressure is more valuable than a sack. A sack is a 5 or 6 yard loss. A pressure can result in a turnover, an interception. The give is right up the gut to Craig James, and oh, is he stacked up. Bob Golick, the big nose tackle out of
Some minor university in the Midwest on the tackle.
Matchups going in the center of the line here. Bob Golick, nose guard. Big John Hanna, number 73 here, putting the head down, being taken on by Scott Nicholas. Not a bad job by the young linebacker. And that's what happens so many times. The body congestion in there, the pile fell on John's legs, and he's had calf problems all year long. What a fine player he's been.
Where'd Golick go to school?
Bob Golick, of course, the Golden Dome of Notre Dame.
Matt Collins to the right side, and he's got some running room. Chased out by Al Gross. You're not talking about Notre Dame, are you?
My alma mater, the Golden Dome. Golden Dome. Mad Dog Bob Golick, they call him there. Quite a wrestler. Three-time NCAA wrestling participant and a very strong player. Fine football player, but he's got his hands full today going against Pete Brock and John Hanna and Ron Wooten in the center of that Patriot offensive line.
And it is Bob Golick and Hanford Dixon that are responsible for naming that Cleveland defensive unit the Dogs. Of course, it goes back to what you just said. In college, Golick was known as Mad Dog, and he and Hanford Dixon a year ago started barking at one another after pretty good defensive plays. They've been barking ever since.
And everybody here in Cleveland's picked up on it now. They've got a section down in the end zone where they bark at the opposing team in pregame warm-ups.
Spotted just short of the first down. There you see it, the dog pound. There's that dog defensive unit. Hanford was saying that a couple of weeks ago fans were bringing those rawhide dog bones to the stadium and that open into the end zone when the defense would make a great play. These fans would start hurling those dog bones out of here. Hanford went on television here in the Cleveland area and said, hey, those things hurt. Be careful.
I understand Hanford Dixon barked at Henry Kissinger.
He wanted to teach Kissinger how to bark. That's changed. Had a costly fumble a week ago that resulted in a Raider touchdown. Don Rogers on the tackle.
Phil, the identity, the very essence of this New England offense throughout the years has been centered around this man, John Hanna, perhaps the greatest guard to ever play this ball game. Didn't get a great block that time, but kept after it. Just enough body English air to enable the ball carrier to get through, and the Patriots love to run left behind Big John and Brian Holloway.
Eason is really hit. Morgan is hit twice. Brazil and Don Rogers hammers Stanley Morgan.
Credit Morgan with a fine effort there to keep the ball from being picked off. He went over the back of Hanford Dixon to prevent the interception. Eason looking short there and then going deep. The ball's in the air. He's well covered. Going up over Larry Brazil's back to prevent the interception.
Second down and 10 now from the Browns' 39-yard line. New England has never led in this ballgame. There's the draw to Craig James. Makes his way through Hanna. Down inside the 33 near the 32. Chip Banks on the tackle. What a job James did of maneuvering by John Hanna.
Not only John Hanna, Phil, but Brian Holloway, the all-pro left tackle. 6'7", 288 pounds, and that's a lot of beef on the left side of the line. And as this game wears on, if the New England Patriot offense can stay on the field and keep their defense off the field, they're going to do it by running left.
Third down and 3. James is a lone running back. Brown showing blitz. James has the ball, and he will be stopped short of the first down. Bob Golick, the nose tackle, stuffed it up.
Interesting situation and decision here, Phil. You've got fourth down now, inside of a yard to go. It's what I call a 4-down zone. I think that you've got a decision whether to kick the field goal or go for the first down.
And Tony Franklin remains on the sidelines at the midfield stripe. He took 3 or 4 steps onto the field and then turned around and came off. And now Eason will head for the far sidelines. A timeout for the Patriots to talk things over. Fourth down, less than 1. Raymond Barry and the brain trust of the New England Patriots talked it over, and Tony Franklin is on. 2 for 2 in the field goal department this afternoon. If, in fact, he lets this one fly, Bob, it would come from
48 yards.
48 yards out.
Tony has plenty of leg. 48 yards is within his distance, but I don't like the call. I think I like to run, go for behind Hanna and Holloway, go for the first down.
down. It's got distance. And it is wide to the left. So Mac Barr, whose field goal streak ended at 14 in a row earlier today, this time Tony Franklin's comes to an end at 8. Have the football following the missed field goal attempt by Tony Franklin. He had hit 9 in a row prior to that miss from 48 yards away. It is Kozar, the little crossbuck. It is given to Ernest Biner, and he finds a little running room near the 32 and stopped there by Steve Nelson. Bob Kuchenberg, you did not like that conservative call by Raymond Berry.
No, Phil, I certainly did not. Even had they made the field goal, I still didn't like the call. 48 yards. I think your percentages of making that field goal are 50% at best, compared to your percentages of success for 1 yard behind John Hanna and Brian Holloway, I would think would be much greater than 50%.
How about that score? Green Bay over the Lions, 27-3 now, midway through the third period. Kozar's first pass in the NFL is complete to Brian Brennan. Boy, Brennan has had a couple of big catches today, and Brennan himself has thrown a touchdown pass.
Big play here for Bernie Kozar. He's broken the ice. He's completed his first pass in the NFL. Ball couldn't have been thrown any better. That coverage was good and tight. Good throw and good pattern and good catch.
Look at his reaction right here. Yeah.
You know, people don't realize how much pressure that play took off Bernie Kozar. He'd come in, he had a fumble on his first play. He now has his first NFL completion.
Third down and 1. Second man, that's Biner. He dives out near the 41, and I don't know if he got it.
It's going to be close.
Very, very close. It will certainly result in a measurement. We pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
This is WBZ, TV4 Boston.
Ten minutes, 42 seconds to play in the third period from Cleveland Stadium on a cool, brisk afternoon. It is Cleveland by 1 over the New England Patriots. Bill Stone, along with Bob Kuchenberg, we told you at the outset of our telecast we expected a dandy, and we have got nothing less.
First down by the length of the football.
Marty Schottenheimer, criticized by some in the local media for his lack of creativity when it comes to offense. He has mixed it up well today. Turnovers have cost his ball club.
That's right, Phil. He certainly has mixed it up. The old double pass. He's not been conservative today.
Kozar, play action. It is Bernie Kozar is 2 for 2. Clarence Weathers with the reception at the Patriots 42-yard line. Ronnie Lippett ran him out.
Tight man-to-man coverage here. Clarence Weathers on Ronnie Lippett, driving him downfield, coming back to the ball. The good receivers come back to the ball. The ball put right there on time. Bernie Kozar, very impressive. 2 for 2 passing.
Biner and Mack are the running backs. Play action, Kozar again. 3 for 3, yes! Brian Brennan at the 31. Another Cleveland first down. And Bob, don't you know, with every completion, Kozar's confidence factor goes up, up, up some more.
That's right, Bill. Look at this. Boy, he put something on this ball. That ball did not take very long. Very tight spiral. Right there. Got there in a hurry.
Well, you said it, Bob. A tight spiral. Kozar, 3 of 3, 42 yards. Little quarterback draw, nothing there. And the main reason is because Dennis Owens and Steve Nelson sniffed it out.
Phil, I think that may have been an extemporaneous quarterback draw. I think he meant to hand the ball off, but there was nobody to hand it off to. I don't think at this point you want Bernie Kozar running with the football. He's much like Dan Fouts and Dan Marino. He's got the shotgun of an arm, but not very mobile. You don't want him running the ball.
9 minutes, 43 seconds to play, third period. The Browns 14, the Patriots 13. Kozar. Near side. It's caught. That's Ozzie Newsome. Gets up and then decides it perhaps is a better idea to stay down. Steve Nelson covers him. This telecast is presented by authority of the NFL. It is intended solely for the private use of our audience. Now, any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Cleveland Browns and the National Football League is prohibited.
Bill, the Browns cannot afford to lose this man. He's their leading sacker this year in quarterback pressure. He's been all over the field in the first half. He's got a bad ankle. Looking at Kozar dropping back here. Boom! Ball, gets rid of the ball in a hurry. Fine delivery. He knows what to do with the football.
Now Blackman is now being carried to the bench. He made it to the sideline on his own and is now being lifted to the bench. Not a good sign for Patriot fans.
Not at all, Phil. They cannot afford to lose Don Blackman at this point.
From the shotgun. Little inside handoff. That's Piner. A flag is down. Rembert and Tippett on the stop. Illegal motion against Cleveland is the preliminary indication.
We have an illegal formation foul, offense. The tackle was on the end of the line. The penalty is declined. Fourth down.
What happened there, Phil, was the wide receiver was not near enough to the line of scrimmage. He was more than a yard off the line of scrimmage. Consequently, that caused the offensive tackle to be the end man on the line of scrimmage. That's illegal unless he reports and therefore is an eligible receiver.
Matt Barr, he is 0 for 1 today. Paul McDonald will hold on 4th down and 6 from the 27. 44 yards out. 8:51 to play in the third period, and the Browns now lead by 4. There's the man who led the Miami Hurricanes to a national championship in '83, a Fiesta Bowl appearance in '84. Bernie Kozar, his NFL debut, 4 of 4, Bob, 41 yards, and he positions Matt Barr for a 44-yard field goal.
That's more like the script I would have written.
Well put. Stephen Starring at the 9-yard line. Breaks one tackle. Scott Nicholas had him at the 20-yard line. Starring broke it, moved it out near the 25, and is finally stopped by Felix Wright, the nickelback for the Cleveland Browns. The Patriot offense today has yet to crack the end zone.
That's true, Phil, but I still, the need for this man to continue to be aggressive. 11 for 20, 167, not bad stats, but he needs to be aggressive. He cannot get conservative at this point.
Weathers and Craig James are the setbacks. He's the ones to put it up. Right over the top. That is Derek Ramsey holding that football out like a loaf of bread. And fortunately for the Patriots, he did not cough it up. Larry Brazil slow getting up at the 41-yard line. A first down for New England.
Derek Ramsey just ran a little lazy delay pattern, little hook over the end zone, and just stood there for about 2 full seconds, letting the Brown linebackers run to their areas in the zone. They never saw him.
First and 10. Eason is hit just as he releases the ball. It is an incompleted forward pass.
Clay Matthews beat John Hanna, Phil, on that play. Clay Matthews coming from the right side of the Brown defense. John Hanna was out there to pick him up, but Clay kept coming, kept coming. You're going to see number 57 in white here on the left side of your screen. Blitzing, big John Hanna. He's got the block, but John doesn't sustain it. Clay keeps coming, gets the quarterback hit. Fine play. You're seeing why Marty Schottenheimer calls Clay Matthews perhaps the finest outside linebacker in the NFL today.
Second time this afternoon, the Dogs have gotten to Tony Eason. 15 sacks against Eason all year. Weathers, timing pattern, he's got it, and is down at the Cleveland 47-yard line. That is Robert Weathers, the brother of Clarence Weathers.
Bill, I have a question for you. Right now, what are Mom and Pop Weathers thinking? Are they happy or unhappy that Robert caught that ball for a first down?
Now the question has to be, you got to believe that one of them sitting on each side of this field today. Who do you pull for?
That's a good question. I once had the same situation. My brother Rudy played for these same very Cleveland Browns in 1970 when I was playing for the Dolphins, and Mom and Dad were in the stands. Unfortunately, the Browns beat us 28-0 that day.
Incidentally, the word on Don Blackman, the outside linebacker for the Patriots, an injured ankle. They are taking him to the locker room for an x-ray. Play action, Eason. Now comes back to the near side. Derek Ramsey has it on his fingertips and cannot hold it. Stanley Morgan had beaten everybody by about 10 yards, and Eason didn't find him.
Right now, Stanley Morgan is walking off the field at the 20-yard line all by himself. I think he must have come from the locker room, Bill. Clay Matthews and Chip Banks are blitzing nearly every play now, Bill, and I think that's good pressure defense. You see the ball here is thrown just a little bit high. Derek Ramsey makes that catch more often than not.
Out of the I formation, normally a run formation. Eason. Quick release. Collins cannot get back to make the catch. Pardon me, that is Cedric Jones. Fourth year out of 2. And now you put yourself in a situation on 3rd and 10, Cooch, where you really have to air it out.
Well, they've been very effective with the draw play, and Cleveland knows that. So I think that Cleveland has to respect the draw play a little bit. But yes, it's by and large a passing situation. And the Dogs, they called the Dogs that time. They had the safety blitz on, and Eason had to get rid of the ball before he wanted to.
Derwin Williams, Cedric Jones to the right. Stanley Morgan to the left. Eason right over the top. Intended for James. Did he hold the football?
What a catch! I can't believe that. He was covered by 3 men. The ball had to be thrown in perfectly. What a catch by Derwin Williams.
First year out of New Mexico.
You're going to see Derwin Williams, a slot back here on the center of your screen, going right down the middle, being followed stride by stride by the linebacker, the safety coming over from the center. Oh, that ball had to be perfectly thrown. Going up, deflected, and yet what concentration. Derwin Williams, splendid concentration.
A 24-yard reception for Williams. He's averaging over 17 yards a catch. That's Greg James. No place to go. He avoided Clay Matthews back at the 28-yard line, but he ran head-on into Scott Nicholas and Don Rogers. Now take a look here. Indianapolis laying it all over the Buffalo Bills.
New coach there, replacing Paige Stevenson, is having a rough day. Once again, not the Hollywood script that you like to imagine.
Listen to this chant here. Defense.
Bill, you're experiencing the 12th man here. This stadium is rocking and rolling. The fans are excited. They almost picked one off there. He hit Frank Minifield right in the numbers, and Frank can't believe that he dropped the ball. I don't know who he was trying to throw the ball to. Well, the receiver had fallen down. Stanley Morgan had fallen down, and Frank Mini fell down after that one hit him in the solar plexus, and he couldn't hold on it. But listen to these fans calling for defense.
3rd down and 9 from the 22. Will not attempt to talk over this roar. Who's got the football? Stanley Morgan. Oh, my. What a catch. What a catch.
He took a hit that I don't believe. What concentration. The ball was deflected, bobbling the ball while he's bobbling it. Frank Minifield took a lick on him, and he comes down with the ball. That is a pressure catch. Eason putting the ball up. Minifield with a 1-for-1. Anybody's ball at this point. Minifield deflecting it. Here comes the hit. Boom!
Al
What a
Gross.
catch. Al Gross, a strong safety, coming over, putting the hit on Stanley Morgan while he's bobbling the ball. Phil, I don't believe he caught that ball. I don't see how he caught it.
Tony Franklin, barefoot and all, sends it through. Stanley Morgan now on the day, 4 catches for 89 yards. Oh, what a ball game. The Patriots with their first lead today. That drive by the Patriots, 9 plays, 74 yards. The first time that the offense has punched the ball into the end zone today. Tony Franklin to let it set sail. It's a short kick. Very, very short. That's Young at the 12. But not before he advances the ball across the 40-yard line. Jim Bowman rolls him out.
Phil, I want to take another look at this touchdown catch. This is a remarkable catch. Jugs Morgan here breaks Gino Cappelletti's all-time touchdown. What's amazing about this catch is he is bobbling it. Poor Frank Minifield has to wonder. Here's the amazing part. Boom! The hit by Al Gross. I don't know how Jugs comes down with this ball. Minifield and Gross have got to be talking to themselves.
Coming into the season, Morgan and Gino Cappelletti had shared the touchdown receptions for the Patriots with 42 apiece. That's Brennan. On his feet at the 44 and falls backwards at the 45. Steve Nelson on the tackle. Now, Coach, you were right on. At the top of our telecast, you said Eason would have to get the ball downfield. Boy, he has done it to Stanley Morgan.
He certainly has. In the first half, he was trying to hit Irving Pryor, and he's been doing it, but just the threat of that has opened up the Cleveland defense.
Bernie Kosar is the quarterback for the Browns. Danielson out with an injured right arm. Up the gut is Kevin Mack. He moves into the 47 and no more. Toby Williams, third year out of Nebraska. The right defensive end stops Mack. Boy, a week ago today in San Diego, Kevin Mack, a 61-yard run to open the ball game. But what a day it has been for that man, Jugs Morgan.
What a catch. I still am not over that catch.
Mack out of the ball game on 3rd down and 3. The lone running back now is Ernest Biner. Ozzie Newsome. San Diego offense on 3rd down. Ozzie Newsome is to this Cleveland unit.
You're right, Phil. The Patriots had a blitz on here. Nelly coming in. Steve Nelson trying to get the quarterback. The young rookie quarterback knows where the weakness is. Hits Newsome, the old pro. First down.
How about those numbers for the rook?
Not too shabby.
Showing blitz. Kosar releases in a hurry. The first down at the New England 36-yard line.
This is not what you would call conservative football, Phil. Fancy schmancy. The young quarterback making a little handoff here, rolling out to his left, wide open. Had a little breakdown there in the secondary. I think the linebackers were fooled with the play-action pass. Bernie Kosar almost getting hit here, but being saved by his offensive line. Dan Fike there at the end. Schottenheimer pulling all the stops here with his young quarterback.
1st and 10 from the 36-yard line. Kosar steps up. He'll just take it to the sideline.
As the Cleveland fans and management and coaches hold their breath.
Yeah, they've had one quarterback go out today via the injury. They do not need the rookie to go out.
I think Bernie's going to have to learn how to slide here. This sideline had to look like it was 10 miles away right about here. Whoa!
Ronnie Lippett almost got him.
It's a good thing it was Ronnie Lippett, his old teammate with the Hurricanes. Probably took it a little bit easy on him there.
2nd down and 8 from the 34. Out of the I formation, Mack is the deep man, and he has got the football. And he doesn't have much else. Oh, he ran right into Dennis Owens. Owens did an outstanding job of fighting off the block of Mike Babb.
Haven't heard much from Owens today, Phil. I think Mike Babb and Lilja and Dan Fike have been doing an excellent job in the center there. I would have to say that the center three players in the offensive line of the Patriots is winning their battle against Dennis Owens and Steve Nelson and Larry McGrew.
Mack thus far on the day, 14 carries for 64 yards. He's out of the ball game right now. 3rd down and 7 from the shotgun. Kozar up and over to Brennan. Oh, does he take a shot? Ron McSwain, Roland James is the guy who put the hammer on him.
Phil, I think that ball was underthrown, to be honest with you. The receiver had a step on Rod McSwain, and if the ball had been thrown deeply enough and enabled the receiver to run under it, it could have been a touchdown.
So it's 4th down and 7. And the Browns are showing that they're going to go for it. Kozar, 6 for 7. He's got John Jefferson and Brian Brennan to the right.
Phil, if they make this first down, this stadium's going to explode. No call. The fans don't like it, and I'm not sure I like it either. There was some awfully close contact there in that reception. No flags, no interference. The fans were calling for it. Good defensive stand by the Patriots.
Kozar's pass intended for Brennan. Good coverage on the part of Ronnie Lippett. Outstanding coverage. Both going for the football. And Tippett, make that Lippett, tipped it. 1:35 to play, 3rd period. Patriots take over. Eason will put it up in the air. Stanley Morgan, he has been all over the football field.
He's warming up to the task, isn't he?
San Francisco doing a number on the Falcons in Atlanta, 17-3 midway through the 3rd period.
I don't believe that one.
You believe it. It is McMahon to Dennis McKinnon from 20 yards out with 3:40 gone in the 3rd period at Tampa Bay. Green Bay all over Detroit, 34-3. Dickey, a couple of touchdown passes in that one. 1st and 10. Eason releases to the near side. Weathers cannot get to it. One other score at the Hoosier Dome in Indianapolis. Boy, the Colts all over Buffalo now, 42-10.
The Colts are an improving ball club. Let me interrupt you there, Phil. Tony Eason very unhappy with his receiver, Robert Weathers, in that play. He threw the ball a little bit high, but Robert did not go up for the ball. It should have been caught, and had he caught it, he had a real estate in front of him.
Eason, 16 completions today, 30 attempts, 259 yards. 2nd down and 10, 49 kicks remaining on the clock in the 3rd period. That's James, right side. Eddie Johnson on the tackle.
The Dogs were ready for this one, Phil. They were lying in wait.
How about that score from the Orange Bowl? The Steelers giving the Dolphins all they want.
17-17 in the 4th quarter.
When they put that score up here in Cleveland, this place is going to go nutty.
Yeah, that concerns both of these ball clubs. I'm surprised Pittsburgh hanging on that well in the 2nd quarter in Miami. Miami's tough to beat at home.
Eason, flags are down. Tony is going for it. The pass intended for Cedric Jones, the 4th-year wide receiver out of Duke, and it was overthrown. Flags down very early. It will be against the Patriots.
Illegal motion, number 73, offense, declined, 4th down.
And that'll bring Rich Camarillo on. And the Browns will get the football back. They trailed 20-17. A year ago, this game decided in the closing seconds. The final then, 17-16 Patriots. Clarence Weathers back at his own 11-yard line.
Clarence Weathers, until 2 weeks ago, Phil, was on the other team. He just had to change jerseys before the game started, didn't he?
Good snap. Camarillo lets it go. Low kick. Weathers should have a return at the 10-yard line.
Fine block by... Oh, is that a block?
Well, he took it at the 10, ran about 45 yards to move the ball out to the 19-yard line. Don Rogers puts him out.
Fine block by Don Rogers. He doesn't get enough hitting on defense. He's got to do it on special teams.
There's Gary Danielson, went out late in the first half after taking a shot. Has ice up on that shoulder underneath that Cleveland Browns jacket, and in his stead, Bernie Kosar. And he is on the field now. He will try and direct the Browns. They are 81 yards away from taking the lead in this ball game. The final 15 minutes of play. The fourth quarter about to begin here at Cleveland Stadium on a cool, rather blustery afternoon here along the lakefront. Now, don't forget Tuesday night right here on NBC. The American League Championship Series begins. The best of 7 this year. It'll be Toronto and Kansas City.
You know, Phil, speaking of Kansas City, George Brett reminds me a lot of myself in my younger days when I played third base for the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. Brett, you know, he's a pretty good ball player all around. He could improve his hitting a little bit. I probably should spend some time with him and help him out a little bit.
You think? I'll tell you what. Brett will have something to say about the outcome of that series. You can be sure he has been red hot. It all begins Tuesday at 8, right here on NBC. Kosar steps up, now delivers out to Newsom. Good defensive coverage by Roland James.
Browns were fortunate enough to get that pass off, Phil. Kevin Mack, the rookie running back, came out and picked up a blitzing Andre Tippett at the very last second, preventing a sack.
Take a look at the time of possession edge there. It's hard to believe the Patriots are ahead in this ball game. You look at that yards passing by Tony Eason. That is the best numbers of 1985.
That's more like Tony Eason.
Kevin Mack, nowhere to go.
Bill, I might sense a little bit of the tide turning here. The momentum is, the Browns are losing a little bit of momentum here. They're now 3rd and 9 deep in their own territory. They've had a conservative play called there. And just before that, you regard the magnificent catch for the touchdown by Stanley Morgan. Taking a look at the thigh of Hanford Dixon, one of the lead dogs there. Got a hamstring pull, apparently.
Out of the shotgun on 3rd down. Kosar just barely underthrows a diving Clarence Weathers.
The reason, Phil, that ball was underthrown because I think it was either his arm or the ball was actually hit while he was throwing. There was pressure from the left side of the Patriot defense. Either Kenneth Sims or Andre Tippett is coming along. You might see... All right. That ball was hit while the arm was in motion. You're not going to complete many passes if you're deflecting it before it's thrown.
Jeff Gossett, his first punt today is a short one.
That hit somebody's foot. That could be a live ball.
Hold on a minute. I'm not sure it hit anybody. Just a second. You might be right. The officials are going to talk it over. Did it hit a New England Patriot player? Indeed it did. The Browns will take the football.
An alert play by the Cleveland Browns.
Only a 35-yard punt, but in this case, it's like a 35-yard pass completion.
It is more than that. It's just a breath of life. Raymond Claiborne not very happy about that at all.
The ruling
Claiborne.
was that the ball hit a member of the receiving team, was recovered by the kicking team. First down.
We'll keep our eyes on number 26 in red, Raymond Claiborne. He's going to go after somebody here. This is not a happy man.
No, he's not happy right now, but I don't know exactly what he's objecting to, whether it hit him or not. It definitely hit one of the Patriots right on the heel.
John Jefferson is in the ballgame. Boy, he has yet to catch a pass in 1985. That's Kevin Mack. Not much at all. Toby Williams stops him. The Browns ran the ball in the first half, Bob, very, very effectively. The top-rated rushing attack in all of football. Thus far here in the second half, they have not found much running room at all.
You're right, Bill. They haven't been able to run the ball with any consistency this second half here, and I'm surprised because they ran the ball very well in the first half. But Raymond Claiborne here is very unhappy talking to anybody that would listen.
.24 to play on the ball game. Kozar, what a spiral. And oh, what a catch by Brian Brennan. A flag is down. There was a flag back at the 44-yard line. Fred Marion chases Brennan out after a sensational grab.
Penalties on the Patriots.
Holding number 58, defense, penalty declined. First down.
Holding call on Pete Brock. Now that can't be.
Can't be 58.
Has to be 56. Andre Tippett.
Defender gambled on that play and lost. Fortunate that Brian Brennan didn't go all the way for a touchdown.
Kozar looks right, now goes right. Looking for Brennan, and it is overthrown in the corner of the end zone. Good coverage by Ronnie Lippett.
The Browns are continuing to work on number 42, Ronnie Lippett.
That man right there, 8 of 13 now for 94 yards.
The Patriots putting good pressure on Kozar. See Tippett coming through there, getting to Kozar after he's thrown the ball. Good defense there.
Brian Brennan, in his first action since coming off the disabled list with a dislocated shoulder, 6 catches for 93 yards, and he has thrown a touchdown. Kozar. Oh, what a catch by Ozzie.
The Wizard. The Wizard. I don't know how you make a catch like this. Sandwiched in between 2 linebackers. I don't know, first of all, why he threw it, and secondly, how it was caught. Little play action. Kind of a little bit of confusion there. Throwing into traffic right behind Johnny Rembert. That's why they call him the Wizard, Phil.
First and goal, the ball right on the 10-yard chuck. San Francisco out in front of Atlanta now 17-10. Chicago has come back. They now lead Tampa Bay 13-12 in the 4th period. And Green Bay dancing a number all over the Detroit Lions. Here in Cleveland, 12:20 to play. Browns down by 3. That is Kevin Mack to the 5-yard line. Touchdown, Browns. A flag is down at the 4-yard line. Hold everything. Oh, you've got 3 Patriots really jawing at an official. McGrew, Tippett, Claiborne, they're all screaming. Now the flag was picked up in a rather inconspicuous manner. You wonder if perhaps it just fell out of the official's back pocket.
They'd better be a little bit careful or they're liable to get 15 yards on this kickoff. Penalized against them.
For Kevin Mack, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon, his 5th of the year. Barr bangs it through the uprights. And with 12 minutes and 12 seconds to play, it's the Browns 24, the Patriots 20. Matt Barr, a short kick. It is taken at the 12-yard line, advanced to the 17-yard line by Cedric Jones, and the Browns down him there.
Phil, I don't think I've ever seen a game with so many short, high kickoffs. It's like the shortstop should go back and catch these. A replay at the touchdown here. Just a simple football play. Power off your left tackle. Fine blocking by George Lealja and Paul Fannin down in the tough zone near the Patriot end zone. That is what the Browns have been doing best all year long.
First down from the 20-yard line. Eason, boy, he could run for a bunch.
I think he's going to.
The problem with it is, though, Bobby is waiting much too long to commit to that run.
You're right, Phil. He should have had a lot more definition there. There was open pasture in front of him. And Coach Berry was telling us last night he would like to see Tony Eason revert to his 1984 form and be more aggressive running the ball. There's a time and place for it, and he is not capitalizing on it.
Stood up.
The Golden Domer. Bob Golick wrapped him up.
Kind of like that, doesn't it?
Oh, I was quick with that one. What are they talking about right now? You're going to see Bob Golick, number 75, right in the center of your screen, standing up to Pete Brock, said, "Hello, Craig."
James,
how we
10
did
carries.
Notre Dame.
That man right there, 10 carries thus far in the ball game for just over 60 yards, 63 yards. Third down and a yard. And that is the Golden Domer out of Notre Dame, Bob Golick, who jumps.
Surely he must have been tricked.
False start, number 11, Athens.
I told you, he was tricked.
Vindicated again.
Listen, there's one thing we Golden Domers can. We can count to 3, by gosh. And I don't care who. All of our graduates can count to 3.
Well, I'll tell you what. When you come from Notre Dame, there's no question who the 12th man is. Third down and 6 now. Yeah, that changes the play selection, Bob.
It sure does. It went from a very preferable offensive situation to a very treacherous one.
62,139 fans are coming alive.
Al Gross. A championship play by the strong safety, Al Gross. Diagnosed it coming over, putting the big kibosh. Boom! Right, perfect timing. Irving Fryer doing a good job going up for the ball, or Stanley Morgan, rather. But Al Gross coming over from his safety position, putting the hit, timely hit, on the receiver, breaking up the play.
Now the Patriots now, 3 of 10 in third down situation. Not good. Here's Camarillo averaging almost 43 yards a punt today. Oh, it is almost blocked. He gets off a beauty. That's Clarence Weathers. Moves it across the 36 out near the 37-yard line before Brian Ingram, a reserve linebacker, brings him down. A 52-yard punt for Rich Camarillo. Patriot fans, take note. Look what's happening in the Orange Bowl. The Steelers over Miami 20-17 midway through the fourth period. That's Brennan in motion. Kozar, the give to Mack. Running room, still on his feet. Spins to the 43-yard line. Kevin Mack running in heavy traffic.
What an effort by the young rookie. The Cleveland coaches are very excited about this young man. Coach Marty Schottenheimer says we've got to get the ball more to Kevin Mack, whether it's by the run or the pass. Paul Farron pulling from his left tackle spot there all the way to the right side, throwing a good block. Mack continuing breaking one tackle there, keeps the legs driving, spinning. He's playing good, excited football. 18 for 96 yards. Kevin Mack threatening to go over the century mark here again. Quite a rookie, Phil.
First down, 43. Kozar now unloads, and it is intercepted. Fred Marion, his second pickoff of 1985, and oh, what a spot it comes in. The pass intended for Brian Brennan.
Bernie misread that coverage. He puts the ball ahead. No, I should not have thrown this ball. Freddie's just sitting there. Once again, Freddie, his former teammate with the Hurricanes, is happy to have received that pass from his old teammate. But I don't know really why. Bernie apparently just did not see Freddie Marion sitting there.
Big turnover. Kozar, there's his numbers. Not bad at all for his first outing. 1st and 10, Patriots. Eason unloads. It is caught. Well, Eason was hit by Bob Golick just as he released the ball. The pass caught by Lynn Dawson.
Tackle that time, Phil, by number 58, Scott Nicholas. This playing field today is filled with former University of Miami Hurricanes.
Indianapolis laying it on Buffalo 49-10 for Hank Bulla. Boy, what a first game as head coach for the Buffalo Bills. Eason going long here. Stanley Morgan, his second sensational catch of the day. Don Rogers and Larry Brazil both back there looking at each other as if to say, how did Jugs catch that ball?
I don't understand how he caught it myself. Sees the ball, comes back inside. Larry Brazil did not see the ball in time. Jugs did see it, stopped, came back, looking at it from another angle here, coming back inside. What a wonderful catch. He is having some kind of game.
How about 6 catches for 140 yards? Pryor in motion to give us to this side. Robert Weathers. Step arm and out gross, and Weathers is rolled out of bounds inside the Cleveland Brown 20-yard line. Stanley Morgan with 104 yards today. 140 yards on 6 catches today. You got to go all the way back to 1980 to find the last time a Patriot receiver had caught more than 100 yards against the Cleveland Browns, and it was Stanley Morgan. Weathers hammers his way down near the 15. You know that no Patriot runner, Bob, has ever rushed for 100 yards against the Browns. That's saying something.
Well, it is, and I don't think we're about to see a 100-yard runner today either.
There's Steve Grogan. He is signaling in the signs, and he is not questioning Tony Eason's dental work. 7 minutes and 1 second to play. Oh, what a finish we have here in Cleveland. The Browns 24, the Patriots 20.
The fans are barking and booing.
Mosey to Tupu. Down near the 11-yard line. A flag is down at the 10-yard line. Now there's no question who the short yardage man is for the Patriots.
Tupu. What a short yardage name.
Well, he is to the Patriots, Bob, what John Riggins is to the Skins.
We have a 5-yard face mask foul on number 51 defense. It's still first down.
Oh, my. Move it 5 yards closer. It'll be first down now and 5 from the 6-yard line. Eddie Johnson on the violation. Chicago leading
It's
Tampa Bay
first
now
and
20 to 12.
one. The foul is
Peyton
not an automatic first down.
from 4 yards out broke open a 13 to 12 ball game. They're midway through the fourth quarter at Tampa Bay. And Philadelphia trailing the Saints 23-14.
Tough yardage down here, Phil.
Weathers. Oh, he runs headlong into Bob Golick at the 5. No gain. And I'll bet you there's some barking going on down there right now.
That's the barking end of the stadium. The fans are barking and booing and making life generally miserable for the New England offense right now. Bob Golick having a dynamic second half here. That's how they draw it up, put the head in the numbers, and drive the legs.
Now the Patriots trying to run against the second toughest defense in all of football against the rush. Weathers, left side. Oh my!
Don Rogers, the enforcer. Clay Matthews also beating Derek Ramsey, the tight end. Chalk that one up to the Dogs. They are dominating the line of scrimmage down here near their end zone. Don Rogers coming from his free safety spot puts a big hit on it, but the real play was made by Clay Matthews, who defeated the attempted block by tight end Derek Ramsey.
Second down and goal from the 4-yard line. Second and goal.
They might put the ball in the air here, Phil.
Little dump pass to Tupu to the 3-yard line, and he'll get nothing more. Boy, Eason did a remarkable job unloading.
He sure did. That was like the old two-handed basketball chest pass.
Golick and Clay Matthews right in his face.
Clay Matthews coming in from his left side here. He's got him by the ankles, the old basketball pass. Once again, number 20, Don Rogers.
Second charge timeout, New England.
Tom Cousineau has come into the ball game. His first action today. Look at this score. Oh, do we have a finish?
Bell plays here.
Sorry, that's Craig James. And he is out of bounds at the 1-yard line.
Craig James doesn't like it. He thought he broke the plane, thought he got into the end zone. Difficult to see from this angle, Phil. I thought he may have been in myself. He does not like it. Take a look at it from the other angle here. Another hit by Don James. Impossible for us to tell here. I'll tell you what he was doing. He was carrying the ball on the right side of his body. If he'd been able to carry the ball on the left side, the inside shoulder, that ball may have crossed the plane.
The side judge, Merrill Douglas, is the one who indicated no touchdown. Oh, what a finish. 4th down and about a foot to go. Out of bounds.
That's an excellent call. Excellent call.
Watch for number 30.
Right here is the play of the game. This is Craig James going out of bounds. The ball in his right hand now. And this was a good call by the referees. If Craig had been carrying the ball in his left arm on the inside arm, I believe he would have gotten in the end zone. Not to fault Craig James. He's carrying the ball where he should be, but that was a very, very critical play by the defense by the Cleveland Browns.
This ball game is not over yet. The Browns are backed up. They have turned it over 5 times today. Kevin Mack running in behind Dan Fike and Ricky Bolden. Moves it out near the 6.
That simple little line plug by the Browns, Bill, was a very important football play. That gives them a little working room now. They had 6 inches. Any mistake down there was critical. Now they've got 5 yards plus 10 yards of end zone. They've got a little bit of elbow room. Very important play for the Cleveland Browns.
Biner is coming out of the ball game. Brian Brennan, Ozzie Newsome, and Harry Holt, the double tight end formation. Out of the I formation on 2nd down and 6. That's back again. This time not much. He'll be short of the first down. Steve Nelson and Larry McGrew, the inside linebackers, on the tackle.
Also, big Kenneth Sims, number 77, slanted in on a slant charge from the defensive left end position and makes the play from behind. Kenneth Sims grabbing the ball carrier by the ankles and bringing him down. Good play by Ken Sims.
For Kevin Mack, the rookie out of Clemson, 19 carries for 100 yards. Second consecutive week, Bob Kuchenberg, that the rookie has gone over the 100-yard mark.
They've got a pair of winners there in Biner and Mack.
He did not get the first down. He did not get it, and the Browns will have to give it up again.
Excellent defensive stand here by the Patriots, showing some character, Bill.
Now keep in mind, with the clock ticking down at 2:49, and it continues to run, the Browns have 3 timeouts. The Patriots have but 1.
Very important defensive stand. Had the Browns gotten that first down, the ball game would have been over. But as it is now, the Patriots will get the ball back around midfield or perhaps even in Cleveland Brown territory.
Pryor at the midfield stripe. Gossett 1 punt today, and it was not a good one. Patriots sending everybody. End over end, not a good kick. Pryor at the 42-yard line could have a return. To the 29, and he's down there. No flags on the return. A 34-yard punt.
He's got a barn burner, Phil.
16-yard return by that man. He had an 85-yarder for a touchdown 2 weeks ago against the Bills.
We're right back where we were about a minute and a half ago. 2 minutes and 7 seconds left. Plenty of time for the Patriots. Time is not really a factor here. We're going to see what Mr. Eason and Mr. Berry were talking about on the sideline here.
Derek Ramsey is gone out to the far sideline, the tight end. Now there are 3 wide outs for the Patriots. No secret here what they want to do. Pryor and Morgan to the near side. Eason looking at Cedric Jones. Now throws over the middle, I believe. It is Tony Collins, and it is. At the 21-yard line, Scott Nicholas covers it. We have reached the 2-minute warning. The clock stops. It's the Cleveland Browns leading the Patriots 24-20. Oh, do we have a shootout from Cleveland Stadium. Raymond Berry, Marty Schottenheimer on your right. There are the damages. Cleveland 24, the Patriots 20. The 2-minute warning, and Tony Eason is on. Bob Kuchenberg, you have been involved in an awful lot of these type of ball games. They got to drain you physically and emotionally.
This is why head coaches make the kind of money that they do. I don't think there's enough money in the world to compensate for the stress they're going through right now. Phil, number 96 in the Browns, Reggie Camp, was just taken out of the ball game with a leg injury. That could be a very important development because he is their leading sacker.
Dave Pozzoli, third-year nose tackle, is slid in now to the left defensive end position, so it'll be Pozzoli, Golick, and Carl Hairston. The Browns have committed 5 turnovers today. The Patriots 3. Eason, 20 of 36. He is over 300 yards. 2nd down and 3. Little play action. Eason looking right. Got Collins wide open on the left side. This time he throws it out of bounds and again wide. Eason could have run it for 7 or 8 yards. Right now, let's go to Bob Costas for this update. Bobby?
Phil, in Miami, they've got the same score as you have in Cleveland. The Dolphins, with 47 seconds to play, get this 2-yard touchdown run from Lorenzo Hampton, the rookie, to go in front of Pittsburgh 24-20. They then intercept the desperation Steeler pass and appear to have it wrapped up with 10 seconds left.
Bob, you know what's interesting about that score you just gave us is the man sitting to my right, Bob Kuchenberg, made a living on those kind of plays. A minute 53 seconds to play here. The crowd exhorting the defense on. Eason cannot get it out to Collins. And
Fine coverage by Clay Matthews. Phil, what I don't like is the play before this. Tony Eason had wide open real estate in front of him. Here you see Clay Matthews trailing the receiver, obstructing his vision just enough to make it a very difficult catch, and he couldn't get it done. But the play before this, Tony Eason had third down and a second down and 3 yards to go. He had at least 10 yards of open field in front of him. He should have run the ball.
this crowd is coming alive on 4th down and 3 with a minute 49 to play.
Just all the marbles. The big play, Phil. Carl Hairston in his 10th year, most of his career spent at Philadelphia, makes the play of plays there in this long day in Cleveland, Ohio.
Now for the Patriots, you can again go back to what has plagued this team ever since the regular season began for the most part, Bob, and that is a lack of being able to move the ball on a consistent basis.
I really don't understand, Bill, why Tony Eason on that second down play didn't run the ball. He had at least 10 yards. He might have even gotten into the end zone because he had some red jerseys in front of him.
A minute 43 seconds to play. One timeout is all that the Patriots have. Kozar gives it to Kevin Mack. He is on his feet at the 35-yard line. Mack on the afternoon is now 114 yards. There's the final now for Miami. Bob Costas told you about it a moment ago. The Dolphins, in a come-from-behind effort, knock off the Steelers 24-20.
Well, Phil, that's bad news for the Patriots, and it's very good news for the Cleveland Browns.
We are inside a minute, 59 seconds. Kozar goes down. And look out.
Andre Tippett came blitzing through and put the shoulder to Bernie Kosar as he was genuflecting, touching down. I think it was a legal play on Andre Tippett's part, but very unnecessary.
Yeah, you saw Kozar and Ronnie Lippett sort of smiling at one another. Of course, Lippett and Kozar playing together at Miami. I want to thank our producer, Kenny Edmondson, our director, Ralph Abrams. Oh, a job well done, gentlemen. Our entire crew here at Cleveland Stadium. Well, what a ball game we have had for you. 38 seconds to play.
Excuse me, Phil, that was not Andre Tippett. That was Bernie Kosar's old teammate, Ronnie Lippett, putting the wood to him.
Biner and Fred Marion. Ernest Biner and Freddie Marion.
Phil, that's frustration. It's frustration coming out on the part of the Patriots. They've had a very discouraging beginning this year. And once again, they've let a ball game get away that they could have won, and perhaps even should have won here in the closing minutes. And that is a very frustrated group of New England Patriots on that football field right now.
Third charge timeout, New England.
Now Biner and Raymond Claiborne are John right there in the center of your screen. Number 44 in white and 26 in red. Clock stopped with 26 seconds to play. There's a man who ought to be about as mad as anybody on the playing field, Raymond Berry, but he's probably one of the cooler men in the entire stadium.
That's right, Bill. You can't tell from looking at his face whether he's winning or losing, but he's got to be very frustrated right now. And on the threshold of victory here, and then to make some critical mistakes here right at the tailing minutes.
Now, don't forget, stay tuned. The second half of our NFL doubleheader here on NBC comes your way. Kansas City and the Raiders, most of you will see. San Diego is at the Kingdome. The Jets travel to Riverfront, and Houston meets the Denver Broncos at Mile High. All coming up next here on NBC. Kozar goes down, and that ought to just about do it. That should be the last play of this ball game. And Bob, it was a game that early on we said the Patriots would have to get the ball to their wide receivers. They did it, but quite frankly, Tony Eason simply unable to lead his team into the end zone.
Tony made a giant stride in the right direction. He was played more aggressively today, got the ball to his wide receivers, but what's going on here, Phil? A little extracurricular activity down here. A lot of frustration coming out.
Now, you can't believe it. You'd almost think the AFC Championship was at stake. There's no time remaining. This ball game is over.
I'll tell you what, the Patriots better be a little bit careful here. I know they're frustrated, but it wouldn't take too much to get some of these dogs out of the stands down here on the field.
The final score, the Cleveland Browns 24, the New England Patriots 20. And in the last 4 minutes of this game, the Patriots had not one chance to win it, two outstanding opportunities to possibly win this ball game.
A very difficult day for Coach Berry. Took the on the threshold here, just didn't get the job done in the crunch.
All right, the final score, the Browns 24, the Patriots 20. A big win for the Browns. Another disappointing loss for the Patriots. We'll be back in a moment.